What's up, Airsofters? Dragon here. Arkansas Combat Simulations. You have to kind of excuse me a bit. I don't actually feel well right at the moment. But I got an email while I was kind of messing around with some other videos, trying to get a Longbow BBs, which is my sponsor, promotion video up and where it can be viewed. Anyways, I kept getting a little email blip and telling me, I had mail to check, and I finally checked it, and a user or a watcher or somebody just generally casually interested in sniper ops had emailed through the site, and it come to my inbox, and I read through it, and I'm hoping that I kind of get this right. I should have printed out the page to look at here while I was doing this, so hopefully I cover all the ground. Anyways, Jacob, man, I don't know your call sign, or I'd use your call sign. I don't want to use your full name or anything on public video, but thanks for the email. Thanks for your concern, and you brought up some valid points that I really probably needed to cover a little bit, talking about more about sniper ops in general. To kind of answer your question directly, no, I've not really ran into any instances where players in ghillie suits are not calling their hits. Then there's probably a lot of reasons for that. Now, I'm not saying that the places that you've played at in the past or whatever, that wasn't an issue. I have no idea. I mean, I can picture in my mind the scenario that you laid out, and kind of see, yeah, that would make me highly frustrated too. But in sniper ops, the differences between the type of play you described, which I envision a more general open play, milsim type of environment, as opposed to sniper ops, is a lot smaller scale type of operation and play. It's not a generalized random group of players that are coming from all over to play, and trying to take advantage of numbers versus admins watching, refs, or whatever you want to call them. And I will say that you are a little bit correct that in some instances, maybe a ghillie suit probably does dampen the impact to where a target may not be aware that they got hit once or twice. Really, honestly, you take that with a grain of salt, and you take it at risk no matter what you're doing in airsoft. I mean, you can be playing indoor CQB and be shooting somebody in a hydro carrier, and it's on their back, and they may not be aware that they're being hit. Now, I'm not going to say that all bolt action sniper operatives are 100% legit, but here in my local area, I know that any of these guys that I've played with, that is not the case. They don't bend the rules. They don't play unsafely. Very good, collectively known and very good groups or very good participants in our hobby. Fine examples of what everybody really should be doing. I know that in airsoft in the past, especially in large milsim events, I've also ran into problems. Not really per se anybody in a ghillie, but just in general, a lot more ratio of those that tend to shrug hits and not call it, try to get away with a lot more than what your average person that does follow the rules and calls their hits and all that does. And consequently, I don't even know if that's a word or not. Well, anyways, there are some that I just will not pay big money ticket price to go on a national event level anymore because of the quality of the players just isn't there, where it's like, if I'm going to pay big money, I want to have fun. And part of me having fun is like whenever I shoot somebody, they better call it, and I am actually a little bit forgiving on that aspect. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt a time or two, but whenever it becomes a massive problem that starts affecting the fun level, and continuously, ongoing happening, especially whenever administration won't do anything about it. And that's where I get to where I'm like, I'm not spending my money and going back again. So I have run into that problem, like in general milsim and general play, types of things. I can't really say that it's always, the newer players, but I've had, even, experienced groups that are, they spent big money on gear, being all tactical up, Gucci cam and all that stuff, and they actually be 100 times worse about head shrugging and not calling hits and stuff than any new player I've ever encountered. So you take it with a grain of salt sometimes. And unfortunately, in airsoft overall, the umbrella of airsoft, we work off an honor system. It's not paintball. We don't have ammo that marks the targets. I'm not really sure that even works for them too well, because from what I have witnessed of watching paintball players and stuff, if a ref doesn't see it, they won't call it, or they wipe it off real quick, or if it's sometimes it's not as big as this right here, I don't call it. And so that's, like I say, you have to take it with a grain of salt. But anytime you have an honor system in play, there's always those that are going to abuse it. There's always those that are going to try to take advantage of it. And unfortunately, it's something in airsoft that no one has ever really absolutely filtered out. Now, me myself, if I am running a game or a part of a game that's like especially for sniper ops, and we got a player that happened to come in and is not calling it, it's becoming an issue where it's starting to affect the gameplay, players and such like that. I have no problems with stopping what everybody is doing, taking person, ejecting them off the field, and giving them a polite invite to never return, because I think that's the only real way to deal with cheaters, is to actually have a consequence to what they're doing. Whenever you said that about, that's why that you avoided getting a bolt action and went with a DMR, I hear that a lot, that there's allegedly this need for players to have tons of follow-up shots in case somebody doesn't call like 1 or 2 hits. And in a way that's fine in certain situations and scenarios, but overshooting players that are cheating only fixes that issue at that moment in time. The next opportunity those players get to cheat, they'll do it again, because it's not really, the sting or whatever, if they're actually feeling it or not, the pain of those extra shots or whatever, that goes away. And as soon as they get an opportunity again, they follow the same habits, the bad habits and patterns. I'm not trying to get too like psychological advanced here or nothing, but that's just generally how it goes. And the overshooting aspects never actually fixes the problems. That's not like really a consequence to those that are just adamant about cheating. And the best way to actually deal with them is to have a consequence of absolutely, you cheat, you're out. You're not invited back. You can't play here anymore. And that seems to do a whole lot more in the long run for the hobby overall. And I wish more players would do that. And I don't even care how famous that they are on YouTube or whatever. You do bad, throw them out. And but like I said, unfortunately, just in airsoft in general, we have that. There's always that ability to take advantage of the rules. There's always that ability to bend the rules. There's always that ability there underlying to, abuse the honor system. And I haven't actually found that in my area or in the sniper ops that I've, done test games. Of course, we've done controlled test games. It's not been open to the public yet. And more or less, they were small games just to refine what we're doing here in the United States with it. But the players that I know and play with, like from Central Arkansas here and Northeast Arkansas, I know that there's not an issue there with the bolt action users, the sniper players on that front. Not as far as like any kind of rule abuse or hit calling or anything like that. I don't foresee that in a the next 5 years an issue being that. And the reason being is because sniper ops is, like I said, a smaller scaled type of game system with very specialized niche of types of players, and generally you get a more quality player out of that niche. And also sniper ops is not a collective melting pot of different players, different mindsets with different needs and different desires to get out of the game system. Everybody that participates is interested in sniping, interested in bolt action use, interested in working on their stealth, their ghillies, their tactics, upgrading your rifles. And there's a lot of similarities and a lot less randomness, collective melting pot of different types and different types of players. So yeah, I don't really see that being an issue. As far as ghillies, lightning impacts, that's something that can't really be gotten around. I mean, I know I've taken a shot at say like one of my own teammates out on the field, and if it was over so many feet, 250 feet, and it hit him and he didn't feel it, I didn't get all upset or anything. I mean, he got that big Wookiee bush rag on his head, and I hit him in the back of the neck area, and he didn't call that first hit. So all I did was just adjust my shot a little bit and hit him somewhere where I knew that he was. And you get lighter BB impacts even on heavyweights, even on higher powered devices at a distance. That sometimes affects things, and really that actually probably that fact alone turns more people off to bolt action than people actually not calling hits. But there's always those situations and possibilities, and I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm more or less just being real. The key aspect in sniper ops is like it is a different environment. It's a lot quieter. It's a lot less going on, a lot less chaos in the mix, and players are definitely going to be way more aware in that environment that they're being hit, for sure. When that applies, because I would say 85% of the sniper ops game doesn't even involve like shooting a target, unless you're the hunter or hunter team or the bandits or something like that. A lot less focus on shooting out players as opposed to the overall spectrum of using your stealth, using your environment, using your concealment system, using trying to stay quiet whenever you do shoot, making sure that you're shooting at a good opportune time. There's a lot more to it than just a firepower contest. And I hope that's kind of like covered the ground and answered your questions. As far as like going the DMR route, I have DMRs too, and I understand the benefits of using them like in more of a squad-based environment and milsim type of situations, especially whenever trying to sustain myself for longer periods of time than just a single day of play. But overall, though, it's a different can of worms between a milsim event and sniper ops. It's really one of those things I need to be able to showcase it so that people kind of get a better understanding and idea about what I've been talking about. If you've never experienced anything like hunter tiering or sniper ops, or or even played a little small games, but everybody's got basically the same types of weaponry. The dynamics are totally different, and it changes the gameplay on a big scale for such a small, simple system. But yeah, there's always that room for somebody that cheat or not call hits or abuse the system. But at the same time, it doesn't warrant like not attaining a bolt action, or even trying out the game type or the one of the sniper ops events or anything like that, just based off the fear that somebody else is going to cheat. Don't let the bad apples ruin the hobby or the fun for you. Create your own fun and get involved and do what you feel is right for you in all things in airsoft, not just as far as like bolt action use and sniper ops. Well, man, I hope that kind of answered your question, and anybody else like viewing about the honor system portions. Sniper ops does use a vast amount of honor in it in order for it to run well. Everybody that plays has to be honorable in recording their target UIDs, and the hunters have to be honorable in saying that they did shoot and made X player respawn or sniper team respawn, and everybody's always under the honor system of calling whenever they've been hit. And there is a lot of honor system in it, but at the same time, it like I said, it's a smaller type of game system environment with a more specialized niche of players. And it doesn't necessarily mean that all bolt action users are honorable players. What I'm saying is like the types of players that niche attracts are already generally less prone to be just your random guy at a game or event or whatever, and just I ain't gonna call my hits, I'm too good for that type of person or personality. And I would say that would be generally the case. Anyways, yeah, like I said, I hope that answers your question. No, I'm not going to just open up DMR use based on the fear from players that, you know, other operatives aren't going to be calling their hits. That's not going to be an issue in sniper ops. It's you kind of have to take my word for it right now, but it's a little bit, you know, outside the box thinking, but on a, you know, more, it's not, I don't know how to say it. It's just not like going to a big milsim event or casual airsoft open play at, you know, some field out there where, you know, you're not really knowing who even you're going to be playing against or anything like that. It's totally different environment. And like I said, I hope that answers your question. And I did take the opportunity to kind of make a explanation video in a response. I hope that helps or works better than me just sitting there typing a wall of text to you personally and not helping out anybody else as well. In the meantime, guys, scroll down, like, subscribe, and buy some longbow BBs. Follow the links to longbow, 50% off right now, promotion for U.S.-based, you know, orders. That's not bad. Best BB, heavyweight BBs that you can buy. I won't put anything else through my rifles anymore. So, anyways, this is Dragon, ACS TV, and I'll catch y'all next time.